In his memoir, Prince Harry opened up about his fractured relationship with his family, particularly focusing on his brother, Prince William, and father, King Charles III. The Duke of Sussex stayed true to his promise of raw honesty and revealed rare insight into life within the royal family. The prince has, however, been criticized for invading the privacy of his family members, with one biographer claiming the king has been hit hard by his younger son's revelations. Gil Knappett, a royal author and biographer of the king, was a guest on last week's episode of the Pod Save the King podcast. When asked how Charles will have been impacted by the words and accusations that Harry wrote in his biography, she said, "All I can say is, he's been hit hard, beyond hard, in fact, as any father would be. I just think it's a very sad private family matter that has become so public, and am really not sure what it was supposed to achieve." Harry has previously been questioned on accusations that has invaded the royal family's privacy by publicizing claims about them through various interviews as well as his book. During the Duke of Sussex interview with Tom Bradby, which aired on ITV ahead of Spears' publication, Harry said, "I don't know how staying silent is ever going to make things better." The 8 controversial details of King Charles' coronation that risk public backlash. King Charles' coronation will take place on May 6, but the event has already become the subject of controversy. From the cost of the day to the invitations of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, Express.co.uk rounds up 8 controversial details of the occasion. Mr. Bradby then asked, "Wouldn't your brother say to you, 'Harry, how could you do this to me after everything? After everything we went through?' Wouldn't that be what he would say?" Harry, who claimed in his book that his father begged him and William not to make his final years a misery, responded, "He would probably say all sorts of different things." Mr. Bradby went on, "Some people will say you've railed against invasions of your privacy all your life, and the accusation will be, here are you invading the privacy of your nearest and dearest without permission. Now that will be the accusation," to which the Duke replied, "That would be the accusation from people that don't understand or don't want to believe that my family have been briefing the press." Royal commentator Richard Fitzwilliams accused both Harry and his wife of openly deriding the royal family. He told Express.co.uk, "They pride themselves on keeping control of the narrative, although the irony is they invade the privacy of others and only have work because they are members of an institution they openly deride. They are also keen to hang on to their titles." Mr. Fitzwilliams added, "If they do attend the coronation, surely they must agree to cease their attacks, but if they did make this pledge, can they be trusted to keep their word?" Later in the ITV interview, Mr. Bradby asked Harry whether he will be attending his father's coronation, due to take place on May 6. "If you are invited to the coronation, will you come?" Mr. Bradby asked, to which Harry responded, "There's a lot that can happen between now and then." The prince continued, "But, the door is always open. The ball is in their court. There's a lot to be discussed and I really hope that they're willing to sit down and talk about it." While Buckingham Palace has not confirmed a guest list for the King's coronation, it is widely understood that Harry and Meghan will be invited. Speaking on an episode of the Pod Save the King podcast this month, royal commentator Russell Myers said there has been lots of talk that the royal family expect them to come. He added, "They will obviously be invited, the king wouldn't be so churlish to not invite them, but I am told from people who are very close to the Sussexes that they are still undecided about coming." And the Daily Express's Richard Palmer told last week's episode of the Royal Roundup that the Sussexes coming over for the coronation would be a good opportunity. He said, "I think, while there might be a bit of weariness, I would also expect, certainly the King and Queen consort to have some private discussions trying to mend the rift." There was already speculation over how Charles was feeling about Harry's previous claims by the time Spare was published. Many suggested that a line had been crossed when the Duke launched several attacks on Queen Camilla. However, some insiders have argued Harry should not be written off just yet, and that there remains a possibility for reconciliation. Arthur Edwards, the Sun's longtime royal photographer who has captured the King's work from behind the camera for almost 50 years, was a guest on an episode of Hello! Magazine's A Right Royal podcast last month, and argued there is still great hope for Harry. He said, "It's his son. At the end of the day, it's his son. I don't think he'll cut him completely off. I think he'll try and keep some contact with him. Who knows what is going to happen in California? I don't know what Harry, does all day with himself. He was such a busy guy here when he was Prince of the Realm, but now I don't know what he does, feed the chickens all day, walk the dogs, I don't know. I've got great hope for him still. I wouldn't write Harry off. I feel he's going through a pretty bad time.